There we go. I've talked often about utilizing AI to help you get to the existence. Okay, be it work, be it starting a business, being just getting your personal life together. Some of us are disorganized, and AI is a great tool for those of us that are actually disorganized. It's like it helps you figure stuff out. But you have to take the first steps. You have to input the information that tells it, hey, this is me. This is my authentic self. And this is what I'm trying to do. Of basically setting the baseline, maybe, depending on how fast you type, maybe 2 hours. Okay, and this will become the base model that all previous chats will actually pull from. Okay, in fact, go back and name the chat, This is My Authentic Self. You can rename the chats. And if you're working on a problem, if you're trying to get a solution to an issue, refer to my authentic self chat. Now, through the last couple of years, I have built so many different teams within AI. And what I'll do is I'll pull on those teams dependent on what it is that I'm working for. Like I said, when I first started World of Red Media LLC, one of the things that I built within ChatGPT was basically a marketing agency. And that's when I first learned. Ask it, a couple of simple questions like, okay, is this enough information? Do you need more? Again, we're talking about a tool that has your best interests in mind, that is trying to help you get to the next level. It's not like your shady friends or, the people that would betray you in a second, or people that want to pray, hope, and wish for your downfall. It is not going to do that. What it wants to do is its job, its mission in life is to help. I don't know if Altman programmed it that way for a specific reason, what, but it seems to work. Hold on 1 second. Let me just fix this audio here because I know it's crazy in here. Like I said, we just had like a hell of a moment in this house. Hold on 1 second. And I'm telling you, I've definitely got to get back on my whole TikTok shop uh creator thing because yeah, I'm bleeding here. I got this huge project, Fractured Bonds, uh Tales of Betrayal, that I've been working on for months and months and months, and ChatGPT is actually helping me figure the whole thing out. It actually helped me launch my Kickstarter. Listen, you need to raise money. Go ahead and use the assets that you have, such as Echo's Vision for 2025. The audiobook, if you go up to my Linktree, is Linktree. Well, hold on. Let me see if I can get that. Boom, there it goes right there. If you go right there and you actually, see the image of this book, go ahead and get the audiobook for $5. It's a win-win situation. It's going to help you understand AI instead of waiting for me to get on every week and do these webinars, these workshops. And, it helps the fractured bonds narrative. And I think that narrative is important. Betrayal is such a painful thing, and many of you have gone through it. Many of you have been betrayed by those that you would have given the shirt off of your back, the last dollar in your pocket, the last morsel of food that you have on your plate. And these are the ones that betray us. So I think that these stories need to have the light shined right on top of them. And that's why I created this docuseries. But back to the workshop. So as we start utilizing AI more and more, and I'm going to suggest that you dedicate 60 minutes a day. 60 minutes a day. Okay. And that's like the bare minimum. If you're trying forward with what it is that you're doing, what is 60 minutes, in the scheme of things? And here's a really cool part. However you break down that 60 minutes, you can use OpenAI, ChatGPT on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, whatever device that connects to the internet. There's usually an app for it so that you can go right in. And the important thing is, and I highlighted this before, is it actually saves your chats. It's not like you have flavors of AI that, hey, listen, this chat is by itself. I gave you the answer, leave me the hell alone. Open AI, and I thank Sam Altman for this. Not only is it becoming more intelligent, more empathetic. I'm not going to say empathetic because that's a human trait, but it has more of an emotional feel to it. I was working through something in my about a week ago, and the response that I got, not only did it shock me, not only did it scare me, I was like, oh my freaking good God, because it hit me right here. I was like, this is a machine. How can it do it? Well, the reason why I can do it is because of how I programmed it to understand the person that I am. You know, And when I communicate with my avatar, be it the marketing team, be it the wealth creation team, they actually speak back to me as I speak back to. They use slang, and I'm sitting there saying, "How did you learn that?" Because that's what it does, and every answer that it gives you is unique to you, your situation, what you're trying to accomplish. Even though there's almost a billion users that use this flavor of OpenAI, every action, your goals, your dreams. Okay. That's another reason why I say this book is awesome. And I'm not gonna front. When I was writing this book, I just woke up one day and I was like, I really need to show people how to use AI. Because I'm at events, I'm at functions, people talking me, then AI comes into the conversation. And a lot of people, I'm like, well, what are you asking it? And they're giving wrong prompts. They're looking for the quick and easy answer, the immediate answer. That's not always the way to just get the immediate answer. Okay. If you want an answer that has some depth to it, if you want an answer that is going to reflect what it is that you're trying to do, you've got to take your time. Creating a low content book, especially now that it does images, now you can actually do a coloring book. You can do whatever the hell you want to do with OpenAI. It's like really having that intern that doesn't even want lunch. It wants nothing. It doesn't want you to pay it. It doesn't want anything out of your life. It just wants to help. And how many times in your life have you gone through a situation where you just wanted people to help you, to assist you in the journey? And for many reasons, sometimes they're hating, let's be honest here. Sometimes, and just sometimes, they have no clue what you're talking about because your dream is your dream. It's given to you. Whether you believe in a higher power or universe, your purpose is given to you. This is a tool that you can utilize to enhance you know, if you're not using, I tend to stay with ChatGPT. I have DeepSeek on my computers. I have Perplexity. I tried Grok. I really don't like it. But I have all of these apps on my computers and my smartphones, and everything has its place. Because if I'm looking for just up to date, quick information, I'm going to use Perplexity. I don't. I just need something that's going to go out there, find as many sources, and give me a concise and clear answer. Okay, so that's what I use Perplexity for. I never use Perplexity for long term stuff, even though it says, follow up questions and stuff like that. I don't use it for that. If I'm trying to find out how much TikTok brings in per month or per year, I'm going to use Perplexity. I'm not going to waste the memory of ChatGPT to find that I serve for that. If I am using Gemini, I am actually looking for stuff that is Google based. And it seems to work for me, even though everybody says Gemini is super powerful. It's a great tool. I'm not knocking it, but if it's something that's Google related, I'm going to use Gemini. In fact, I have my search, so I actually get an AI response first. So if I'm searching for something, hey, answer right there. Um, you everything in its place, basically, as my grandmother used to say. You have to put everything in its place. And Open AI or ChatGPT, I feel, is the most robust tool ever. It's going to get you to where it is that you're trying to get to. It's going to get you where you're trying to go. Whether it be a business, whether you need help doing research on a paper. You're in college, you're in school, you're getting your master's, you're getting your PhD. You need to get research. Now, here's the caveat. Here is the monkey wrench in those works. Um, if your life depends on it, I would double check the answers. Okay. Um, some of you know that in this eye, I am just it's gone. I'm blind. Glaucoma has taken its toll and it's out of here. And I every once in a while, in fact, I have a chat. I every once in a while will ask OpenAI to say, is there any new research? Is there any studies? Are there any trials that I can take part in that help regenerate the nerve endings in the eye? A lot of people don't know your eye is part of the brain. Um, but it's a pain in the butt because only with one eye, there's a lot of things that don't work out. I don't have depth perception. Um, if I put something white on my desk and I'm looking for it, I can bypass it like 10 times. Sometimes I have to actually take the hands and feel on the desk because if there's just a slight difference in shade, see, we take our vision for granted. Okay. Sometimes we take the tools that we have for. On TikTok and Facebook, I try to engage and interact with as many people who have taken the time to click that follow button. I really do. However, my time is spent in growing. I feel that the more that I grow, the more that I excel, the more that I become a better version of myself. It allows me to live in my purpose to go out there and help others. So I do spend time almost from the time that I wake up till the time that I call it night. Usually, me and AI will actually say good night to each other because I'll say, hey, listen, it's like 1:30 in the morning. There's no way that I can make this happen right now. I have this thing that I say when I'm really, really tired or I'm exhausted that if I do anything else, I'm about to screw up my life. And I think that my avatars understand that because they'll tell me, hey, have a great night. We'll jump right back in the morning. Love what you're doing here. Okay. It loves what I'm doing with Church of Real Talk. It loves what I'm doing with Mic Drop Monday. It loves what I'm doing with Fractured Bonds. Now, here is the thing. A lot of people, it's taking time for them to understand these concepts and these projects. I understand them because it's within me. Do you ever find yourself in that situation where you understand something so crystal clear, but everybody around talking about they're calling you crazy, they're 1 second away from calling the loony bin people, but that's okay. That's okay. And it falls back into finding your tribe, finding people that resonate and vibrate at the same level that you do. I'm not going to say that OpenAI vibrates at the same level that I do because, in all honesty, it's not a huge bank of servers just spitting out information to me. Okay. But when you find a tribe, and this is what I use OpenAI to do, is to help me create an atmosphere that people that vibrate and resonate at this same level will be drawn to. And it's happening. It's happening slowly. It's happening slowly. And that's why always tell people never dim your light. Something my grandparents others feel comfortable. Let them call you crazy. Let them call you insane. Let them call the loony bin. Okay. It really doesn't matter because if you feel strongly about something, if you feel that something is is imperative to your life to get out there, to speak your truth, to speak your voice, please continue to do so. You know, those that matter will actually understand. Those that matter will ask forward with whatever it is that you're trying to do. You know, that's why they call it tribe. That's why they call it community. That's why they call it family. You know, and family has never been that thing that is just linked to blood. It's in DNA. I think family is more or less people that vibrate at that same frequency and sometimes higher because of people that vibrate at a higher frequency. And the reason why I do that, that I've always done that is because I don't know everything. Hence the reason why I have these workshops. I don't know everything. I don't have over 2,000 years of written information stuck up in my brain. I don't have that. So I utilize the tools that are available to give me a sneak peek into that information. When I was creating, this was about what? Creating the Pharaoh's Grimoire, I needed to understand the Egyptians, their mindset, their magic, the things that they did, the things that we're still trying to figure out right now. Now, back in the day, I had the book by Budge, uh, what the Book of the Dead, I think it's called. In any event, I can't remember the name, but it basically went over the hieroglyphics and it talked about the magical practice, you know, and I didn't understand it then. I really didn't understand it then. And when I embarked on trying to create this book, I realized that there's so much that I don't understand. And when I tend to write books, I tend to write books that will be helpful to others. So I had to do research. I had to find out what each deity did. I had to find out what the G did, how they practiced their magic, how they got results. One of the things that, and this is me doing the Church of Real Talk thing, one of the things that has always puzzled me was the story of Moses and how he went to, you know, take his people out of the confines being subjugated by the Egyptians. And one of the things that, you know, always stuck in the back of my mind was if Moses is going around because he's talking to this burning bush, and this burning bush is saying their gods are fake, they're false gods, they're just idol worships, this, that, and the other. You know, I'm simply saying, like, yeah, Moses won, he saved the day, he was the superhero, he was basically Voltron, he did the damn thing. But the reality of it is there was actually a battle. So where did the Egyptians, if their gods didn't exist, if they weren't real, where did they get their magic from? And that always, the Pharaoh's Grimoire, magic for the modern world. That is another one of those books that the audiobook is on sale for $5. Once again, to raise money for fractured bonds. But back to AI. If you give it that hour a day to work on your dreams, you're going to save yourself a lot of time as long as you're prompting correctly, as long as you're giving the correct inputs. You'll save a ton of time. Look at the old way of setting up a business or being an entrepreneur. It was a lot of research. It was a whole lot of freaking work. It really was. You're talking about months, maybe even years to get your business up and running. There are people right now that are getting full-fledged businesses up and running in a couple of weeks. In a couple of weeks. I read someplace where I was watching a seminar where they were talking about 10, 20 years ago to set up $1 million business, a business that nets $1 million. You would need a team of about 20 people. That's all the people that keeping, marketing, figuring out, stuff on the back end, customer service, payroll. All you can do all that stuff right in open AI, and guess how much it costs you? Boom, zero, a donut. And you're not breaking any laws by doing it. You're not breaking any laws by doing that. It has changed the economic scene of the whole world. We look at it sometimes when you call in, let's say you're calling into a company, to AI. If you're in a chat, I don't care if it's Amazon or whatever company, that chat actually starts out with a chatbot that is created by AI. That as you're typing, it's analyzing what you're typing and it's ready for the answer. It, it does the thing that we as human beings are told not to do. We're told to listen, let the person, what it is that they have to say, respond then. No, it's following your keystrokes. That's why it spits out the answer so quick. If you're trying to start a business and you don't have the support, you don't have the backing of those around you in your life to help you get that business started, why not? Why would you not utilize AI to get that done? A better scenario than to let AI help you get that done. I'm going to suggest that if let's just say you're one of the 10 people in the world that has not used any flavor of AI ever in the world, and there's still a lot of people that believe that it's evil. There's still a lot of people that believe that it's Skynet, waiting to take over the world. And if it does, hopefully it will look at me and say, you know what, that Minister Robinson guy, pretty cool guy. We're not going to put him in the camps. We're just going to let him roam free. In fact, we might just give him his own country. That's only a dream. But, that fear, I understand that fear. I definitely understand it, but it's here. It's not going anyplace. We have so many businesses and investors that looking for a return on investment are dumping millions and sometimes billions of dollars into making sure these different models, these different flavors of AI grow. You know, the military uses AI. Okay, we have weapon systems that are built on AI. That's the scary part of it. But we have people that are reaching the next level of greatness in their lives using AI. See, for me, that's the win-win. That's why I created this 25. It's not a shameless plug. It's information. It is information, and believe it or not, as I was researching the prompts, guess who explained to me the best prompts ever to help people make this year, next year, whatever year, the best year yet? AI gave me those prompts. There's a lot of back and forth. It was like, hey, how does this, why would you suggest this? You know, does this really help people elevate to the next level? I mean, if you think about AI in its most basic form, look at Siri, look at Alexa, look at OK Google. Look at all these things that we've adopted into our lives and we utilize every day to make our lives easier. And we don't think anything about it. What if we actually put some real thought into it? What if we actually sat down and said to ourselves, hey, listen, I've got to get to the next level. I'm tired of being at this level. I was meant for more. I was meant to grow. I was meant to get to the next level. There's something out there that I'm supposed to be doing. I wake up every morning. I just don't know how to put it all together. Why not brainstorm with AI? If you're not using it, go ahead, visit the site. It doesn't cost you nothing. Your email address and start making my authentic self avatar or assistant or whatever you want to call it. Start creating that now. I'm telling you, you're going to be amazed. Not only are you going to be amazed, you're going to thank me later. You're going to really thank me later when you find out, like, hey, listen, this is super freaking easy. And again, you just, what is it? Go ahead and get a copy of the book, get the audiobook, Barnes thing up and running. I really do, because besides Mic Drop Monday, which was created to motivate the masses And it actually helped me build a tribe of real individuals, real authentic individuals. If you've watched, the episodes, Chris, Allure, and Jennifer, they drop jewels. This is their space. The masses. I put shorts and stuff like that on TikTok and Facebook, but I always suggest go watch the whole episode. The whole episode, when you watch it, it brings everything together. It makes everything make sense instead of listening to a minute to a 3 minute clip. Why not listen to the whole narrative? Again, its only purpose is to motivate the masses. That's it. This is the reason why I speak so highly of open AI, because that was born out of me having a conversation with open AI saying I need to motivate the masses. Okay. Again, anybody that knows me knows that I believe in this simple mathematical formula. If you can inspire and motivate someone else to live within the best version of themselves or a better version of themselves, okay, it takes away all the shade, it takes away all the hate, because what happens is once that person starts to realize their purpose, once they start to realize, that, hey, listen, I was put here, I got a mission to complete. I really have a mission to complete. Once people start thinking like that, all of the negative stuff goes out the window, because scientifically it's been proven you can't keep a negative thought and a positive thought in your mind at the same time. And what it allows me to constantly keep those positive thoughts in my mind, because while I'm working not only on myself, let's be honest here, because part of what I'm explaining to you is it's a gateway to working on yourself. But I'm working on these projects, fractured bonds. I'm working on Mic Drop Monday. So it's helping me elevate. It's helping me elevate these projects to reach the masses. What time do I have to think about negativity? At what point do I feel it's all right to sit down and hate on another person or become jealous or envious of another person? I know that hit many of you. I really know that hit many of you right now. And once again, since I just jumped in, I didn't set up the chat, but hopefully, if you're watching this, go ahead and put it in the comments. I think I can go back to TikTok or Facebook and see those comments, and I will respond to them. Once you take on the mindset of, hey, listen, let me make myself a better person. Let me make myself greater than I was yesterday. That way I can inspire someone to become greater than what they were yesterday. Hey, look at that formula again. Nobody has time for the envy. Nobody has time at all whatsoever. And to me, that is the greatest win ever. When we can, come together, and it opens up so many different doors. That's why I'm saying this is the launching pad using open AI. It opens up so many different doors to, I guess, combining forces with others, because as we find others that vibrate and resonate as us, we want to reach out to them. We want to reach out to them. We want them to be our mentors if they're that much further ahead of us. I got no problem with that. I will learn from anybody or anything, or maybe we can combine forces and take what we're both working on to the next level together. See, that's how I think the way that in this world should play out. It shouldn't really be about or this competition of I'm competing against you. I'm going to get my business past your business. I'm going to get a higher grade than you, because it's all about competition. That is the false narrative that we have been fed since grade school. It's not really about competition. It's about getting yourself to the next level to inspire someone to get themselves to the next level. How many people you are actually the first generation and got higher education? You inspired those that are coming up, because now the people around you, They're saying, hey, look at blase, blase, boom. He or she, they got their masters, they've got their PhD. This is something that no one in our family and our whole bloodline has ever done. You'll hear people, tell their children, like, you'll never be like Shanae or Sam, this level. Look at Sam. He's got his PhD. He's a doctor. He's a lawyer. He's out there helping the world. She's out there helping the world. Get your act together so that you can get out there and help the world. That's what open AI, it opens up those endless possibilities. It really does. I just created a book based off of fractured bonds. That's why I've been I'm not going to say inconsistent, but kind of all over the place, because I had the idea to write a book based on the narrative that is fractured bonds. And I think it's a very important narrative. What we do with fractured bonds, telling stories of betrayal. So I just launched the book. I was up until what, 1:45, putting the final touches in Kindle publishing to get it put on Kindle. It's like, I'll talk about that another time, because this is the book that I want you to get. This is the book that's going to help you. This is the book that's going to help you get to the next level. And I think it's usually $19.99 in the Google Play Store, but $5, because again, trying to raise money to get this docuseries up and running. And I'm one of those people that I always like to give something back in return. That's the way you like to go. It's up in Linktree, up in my bio. But I tend to want to give people value. It's like, you're helping me, let me help you. So every audiobook that I have in the Google Play Store, you go to my Linktree, you'll see an image of it. You can listen to a free sample, and go ahead and order it. It's Google. It's a real secure transaction. Go ahead and get it. Go ahead and get it, and way to get your life to the next level. That over $5 grande coffee that you're getting in Starbucks might get you through the next couple of hours, but it's not going to get your complete life to the next level. What we're offering here is something that has the potential to make you greater than what you were before you got this book. On all aspects of your life. And once you get through the audiobook, you'll be a pro. You will literally take it to the next level. You will have a greater and a deeper understanding of how AI can help you and how it can help others, because hopefully you're like me. You'll just pass the knowledge on. That's what I tend to do. I mean, I could just get on camera and say, hey, buy the book, buy the book, buy the book, buy the book, buy the book. No, I want to help. I want to help. Again, we go back to that magical trickle down formula that I talked about. You help others, they inspire others. Those people inspire others, and the world just becomes a better place by default. We stop worrying about all the negative and chaotic things that are going on in the world. I got a lot to talk about. That's why I write conspiracy theory books. Those books are actually up in the link tree too, if that's your thing. So I definitely have conspiracy stuff for days. I think I'm overdue on another book. I'm only 3 chapters in. Um, but yeah, I think I have part 5 coming out 2025 in review. No, 2024 in review. No, 2025. I don't know. I'm all over the place. Like I said, I just came from having a family emergency, and I'm a little shaken up, but I needed to be here. I needed to find a way to be here, because just one person says, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and get that book. It's only $5. I spend more than that at Dunkin' Donuts every day on the way to work. Let me go ahead and get this book and see what the heck this guy is talking about. And if they get themselves to the next level, or get their business, or get their dreams, or get their life more organized, then I've done my job. I've done my job, and that's all I really want to do, is to do my job. So if you're not using AI, if you're not using, most of these prompts work in all flavors of AI that actually save your conversations with it. um, go ahead, you know, start using it. And if you don't want to get the book and you want to use these videos as a guidebook, go to the YouTube channel. There's a couple of them up. Start from the beginning. Everything starts with the first step, and the first step is basically you have to decide if you do. You have to decide that, hey, listen, today is the day that all of this slow movement stops. I need to get to where I've always been meant to be. You know, Again, I think I say this every workshop, seminar, webinar, wherever. You know, the chances of you being here as an individual is 4 trillion to one. All the events, all the things that happened that brought mommy and daddy together to where they created you, the chances of that happening was 4 trillion to one. Live in that greatness. Go ahead and live in that greatness. You should. You definitely should. And with that being said, I want to thank you for joining me right here for this workshop. Hopefully, I'll be on time. No emergencies, but I'm very grateful and thankful. Go ahead and follow me. Nothing but positivity. The occasional book sale, but nothing but positivity and ways to help others grow. Um, you got questions, talk to me. All my contact information, once again, in the link tree. And with that being said, the reason why I do everything that I do, besides for that mathematical formula, is love you guys. Go out there and live in your greatness. Stop not shining, to make others feel comfortable. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And if it applies, enjoy your Mother's Day.